Hey guys, Chris Lynton here from Tribefit, and I've got a awesome, successful online trainer a bit further north than where I am, but we've got Jake with us today. How you doing, Jake?
Yeah, really well, Chris. Good to be here.
And just so I don't get it wrong, how do you pronounce your last name?
It's pronounced Diviak, yeah. So
Okay.
few silent letters in there.
I was
Uh,
going to say David Jack, but I would have got massively wrong. Anyways, we've got Jake here today. He's up on holidays, I think, for a week or so up north, and beautiful part of the world to be. And he's put aside some of the time to have a chat with us. Jake's a in-person trainer, growing his online quite rapidly, been very successful. I think in the first 2 days of October or something like that, did 6K in new clients. He's pumping. And Jake, I guess to throw over to yourself, mate, do you want to maybe give a little bit of a background about yourself, your journey prior to jumping online, and I guess how everything's sort of, or why you wanted to go online in the first place, and then I guess your experience from there.
sure. Yeah, so as you mentioned, I've been a face-to-face trainer for coming on to about 6 years now, and I guess probably in the last 2 years or so, I started to want to take that step and get online. I was getting a bit more interested in it, but didn't really know how to go about it. And you hear mixed things like, oh, you can't. It's not as easy as people make out, which is definitely not easy. But I think having a bit of guidance and a plan to follow. Just going to turn my phone on silent. Is definitely helps. And why I wanted to go online, well, probably a big one is because I love to travel myself, and obviously, if you've got the capacity to make money online, then you can become location independent, which is very appealing to me. Um, but also, it allows you to service more clients, and ideally, increase your income as well. So it's a win-win all around.
Beautiful, man. What did your normal day sort of look like as an in-person when you were just doing solely the face-to-face side of things?
Long. No. I mean, when I was at like full capacity, I was running around 60 to 65 sessions per week face to face, and yeah, you'd be the alarm clock going off at 5 a.m. and you'd be in the gym by 6 or 5:30 or 6, and quite often I wouldn't leave until 7:30, 8 o'clock at night. Some nights as well. Maybe it'd be a split shift, or there'd be a bit of a break in the middle of the day, where you'd either go to the gym yourself or sometimes have a nap, depending.
Yeah.
But it was definitely long, long days. And yeah, I do enjoy it. But if you do that Monday to Friday, by the time you get to the end of the week, you're definitely pretty exhausted. Talking to people face to face and running sessions, it's pretty physically and mentally draining. So, yeah, pretty tiring.
Yeah, and it's obviously a formula that's not going to last till you're not going to be able to do that when you're 85 years old, kind of thing.
No, definitely not. Yeah.
Cool, man. So now you've jumped on online. You've got online clients. You're pumping. You're charging the right prices. Like you're in high ticket land. You've got some good clients. You're getting great results from. So I guess from your point of view, what does an online trainer need? Like what's one or two things an online trainer needs in place to be successful from your experience?
That's a
Good
tough question.
question.
I mean, there's a lot of answers to that one. Probably top two that come to mind. Uh, I think having systems in place. You need to be educated on how to go about starting your online business, because if you've never done it before, um, there's just so many question marks, and you don't really know where to start. That's how I felt, and so definitely, yeah, being shown the right steps to take in the right order, just to get the ball rolling. That's probably the biggest thing, and then just I guess having the guts to take that leap and do it as well, and just see what happens, because yeah, it's a bit daunting, and it's new, anything that's new is kind of scary a little bit as well. But you've got to sort of dive right in and learn from your mistakes. Like I've really only launched my online business about probably 4.5 months ago, so it's still very early in the grand. If I'm looking at this long term, which I am, it's still my business is very young, but I feel like it's far better now than it was even 2 months ago, and I'm learning as I'm going, and that's just naturally what happens, I think, when starting a new business. So.
That's it, man. That's it. And you kind of touched on it there. So, and I know you mentioned earlier about how, some people said online's not as easy as it sounds or whatever it might be. So before you jumped into online, what were kind of the things, however long it took you to take that leap of faith, what were the kind of things that were hurdles to making you actually taking that leap? Like, what was getting in your way? What were you thinking? What did you have to overcome?
Probably, having the time. You've obviously, I was always busy as a face-to-face trainer. I still do face-to-face, and I'm essentially running 2 businesses now, which also does my head in. But firstly, getting the time to do it, because with any new venture, you've got to put a lot of effort into it, and you're only going to get out what you put in. And secondly, obviously I did go and seek guidance from you guys at Tribefit, and making an investment to upskill myself in a bit of training. Initially holding off on wanting to go and spend that money or whatever, but at the end of the day, like I'm 5 months down the track, and here we are, and it's well worth it. But sometimes you can be a bit reluctant to want to spend that money straight up, especially when there's so many uncertainties looking forward. But those are probably the 2 biggest hesitations I had.
Of course, man. And I think it's probably worthwhile noting that if I remember correctly, I think you jumped in kind of before COVID sort of kicked off, or early stages of COVID. Would that be correct?
It was like the start of April. So yeah, just like before we even really knew how bad it was, sort of thing.
Yeah, cool. And so it's probably, like you said, the business being so young, being an infant, 4 months in or whatever it might be, in comparison to 6 years in person, and being able to get something off the ground and growing during those times where a lot of people are either, sticking their head in the sand and doing nothing, or going backwards. So it really is a massive pat on the back to yourself for doing what you've done, and having, some powerful stuff in place, and taking massive action, and backing yourself. And that's really, the ability to back yourself. And as you said, just go along and learn. And as you make failures and make mistakes, we're all human, we're going to do it, but getting better and better each time is probably what I see as one of the key skills of whether it's online, in person, whatever it might be. And just as a business owner. So I guess more recently with the paid ad side of things. So I know you were sort of in the, actually, before we jump to that, what's your vision over the next 4 months, 6 months, 12 months? Like, I know you're doing some in person right now, your online's growing. Like, what's the goal? What's the vision?
I'd say definitely want to just continue to rapidly grow my online business. And I know that being tied up with face-to-face it's sort of counterproductive to that, because there's only there's only so many hours in a day or whatever. And so the vision is to start to wind back the face-to-face, which is going to give me more time to invest in my online business. And again, that's another leap of faith that you've got to take at some point. But not getting too caught up in numbers, but if I was consistently making 10K a month online, I've learned pretty quickly that that's realistically quite low level in the online world. If you get everything right and you get your systems in place, so that seemed like a high target, but it seems quite achievable considering I did 6K in 3 days last week. I'm on track to hit that target or hopefully exceed that target this month. But it's about probably wanting to hit that consistently.
Yep.
And then, you know, just raise the bar even higher again, whether it's 15 to 20K a month. I just brought on a virtual assistant who's starting today, because I just don't have enough time to do the things that need to be done.
Yep.
So that's kind of exciting. It's like officially my first employee, I guess we call it. But yeah, I just really, the sky's the limit, and I just want to continue to grow with this online.
For sure. And you probably, what you touched on there and what you touched on earlier around that, you know, requiring good systems. So well, generally what I find with in person, because it's very time for money, you can get clients and then you just hit a ceiling and it just kind of goes up and down, up and down. But as you just touched on then, once you get online and you have those systems in place, the scalability of it is so much different. Like you can go, like you said, 6K 3 days, you can go 10K, you know, in a month. Once you get there, go 20, go 30, go 40, go 50, go 100, whatever it might be. And it really is the sky's the limit. And that's probably, for a lot of people listening to this, it's probably scary, or for those of you who haven't done north of $20,000 months, it sounds unbelievable. But I guess hitting those key benchmarks, but then having the capacity to continue to go further because of the systems is really, really important. And without that, whether it's in person or online, you are going to be hitting a ceiling. So definitely what Jake mentioned before, systems, very critical from the side of bringing on clients consistently and bringing them into your business for the right prices, but then also delivering a phenomenal service so that you're not kind of bogged down in that. And so I guess in terms of your time, man, where do you now spend most of your time in your online business? If you were to split it up, you know, is it client generation, client servicing, 50-50, 60-40? Where's it kind of sitting?
At the moment, it's probably 50-50, I guess, because bringing on new clients at the moment is still a massive priority of mine. But I mean, in a successful business, that probably is always going to be a priority, I would imagine. You know, that should never stop. But also then, you know, you can celebrate and be really happy when you've signed on 6 clients in 2 days, but then it's like, okay, now I've got 6 new clients that I actually have to work with over the next 90 days or whatever it is. And I need to make sure that I'm delivering on my promise to them. So yeah, it's probably 50-50. This is why I've brought on a virtual assistant now, which is also recommended in the Tribefit course. And I've known for a little while that I've been at that stage where I needed that. And so now ideally they can start to do more of that client acquisition stuff to continue to grow.
Yeah, to help you leverage. Yeah, spot on, man. Cool. All right. Man, that's probably most of the questions I've got here. The last one I always like to ask, just to kind of wrap things up for anyone listening out there, if you could go back 6 months, 12 months and speak to yourself with the knowledge that you have now, what would be kind of the number one bit of advice or tip you'd give yourself or someone in a similar situation to yourself 6-12 months ago?
Probably, I wish that I've acted sooner. My advice would be, if you're thinking about, do you mean specifically related to going online, or or just in general?
Man, honestly, in general, because I definitely find that it all kind of links, if you know what I mean. Definitely. So just
I think it's a good question. I think I would say that if you've got a vision and you want to step outside your comfort zone and grow your business, or personally, professionally, and you want to do it, but you're not quite sure how to go about it, seek the assistance and the training from people who do know. Learn from people that have been there and done that. You'd be quite surprised at what you once thought was probably too good to be true or unattainable. you can definitely make it a reality. But I think it's, going out and seeking the appropriate training to make it happen, because otherwise you sit around and wonder how to go about it yourself, and it's never going to happen.
Beautiful. Cool, man. Well, I appreciate your time. You've got much plans, obviously beach, a lot of sun time up north, and the weather's fine. So, mate, I appreciate your time, and I appreciate you taking your time out of your day, your holiday, while you're up there to chat with us and give some of the tips you've gone through. If someone wants to find out about your business and they want to, I don't know, get training from you or whatever it might be, how can they find you? How can they find out more about you?
Yeah, for sure. So, well, I specialize in working with police and military, and individuals that are aspiring to join the paramilitary and military. My business name is Recruit Ready Fitness. Okay, so pretty easy to remember. You can check me out on Facebook and Instagram. Definitely be able to find me there, and obviously shoot through a message if you're wanting to find out more.
Beautiful. Appreciate your time, Jake. Anyone listening, loads of gold nuggets there to take, and we'll let you get back to your holiday, buddy. And once again, appreciate your time. We'll speak soon.
All good. Thanks, Chris.
Bye for now.